Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2019 mid-month general readings. So we're looking at the last half of November here. This reading is for the air sign of Libra, Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising, and those of you who are cross-watching for Libra. Make sure to watch your other signs if you know them, and if you can, it can always provide additional clarification. So welcome to everyone here. Welcome to newcomers and first-timers, and welcome back to followers and subscribers. Thanks so much for all of your support, feedback, likes, shares, and subscribes. Always welcome and always appreciated. Thank you. I don't know if my my background has changed or not since I posted videos a couple of weeks ago. It may have. I'd have to watch them to see. I've been doing so much traveling lately. I just came back from a couple of weeks in North Africa, kind of exploring there. I am back in Poland in Eastern Europe, where I will be for a couple of weeks before I return to the States, where I will be for a little while. So it's just back to bare walls behind me, because one of the challenges of traveling quite a bit is I'm rarely in control of my background, but I'm always pretty committed to getting these videos out to you. So you'll just have to deal with that. Okay. So this reading is for the last half of November for Libra. And as those of you who follow me regularly know, if you're interested in reaching out for a personal one-on-one reading, live or recorded, just click on the description link below for more info and contact details. Email me directly at maggie@gmail.com. I can usually respond to initial requests within a 24-hour period, and as I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes more, it's all that I do. I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules to get you readings in as timely a fashion as possible, so email me if you're interested. We'll go from there. All right, let's move right into this reading. Libra, for the last half of November. As many of you know, general readings always resonate a little differently for everyone, so if this one doesn't resonate for you, then it's not for you. All right, Libra, we begin with the Five of Pentacles, followed by the Knight of Swords. We have the Queen of Cups, followed by the Seven of Wands. From the bottom of the deck, overall energy, focus, and guidance is the Hierophant. I feel like many of you, Libra, I feel like many of you are waiting for something and doing without whatever this thing you're waiting for, is difficult and challenging, but I feel like a lot of you have some kind of feeling or intuitive sense that what you're waiting for is indeed coming. So because this is a general reading, sometimes the areas or the intensity is going to vary because there's so many of you watching. So for some of you, this might be in the Pentacles area of your life, the Earth area of your life, like money, finances, resources, etc., job, work, career. Some of you, it might be on the emotional realm as well, something that you're waiting for, maybe an offer or someone to come back or something of that sort. We have the Five of Pentacles with the Knight of Swords. And I'm using the Gilded Tarot by artist Cyril Marchetti. I love the colors. This is one of my favorite decks to use for my general readings. So the Five of Pentacles is a card of insufficiency and lack. Pentacles is governed by the element of earth, and in the tarot this often represents, not always, but it often represents the physical structure of our life and what makes that physical structure feel solid, safe, stable, secure. So it often shows up or manifests as things like things to do with money, job, resources, property, assets, etc. On an emotional level, this can represent the level of effort or work we put into our life, or what the efforts that we put into the security, what makes us feel secure and stable in our life, or whether it's actually tangible or intangible, such as relationships and home, etc. So the Five of Pentacles can be a card of insufficiency and lack. Some of you might be, functioning under less money than you actually need, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Some of you might be out of work, struggling to make ends meet, struggling to pay the bills. On an emotional level, this can represent, being on the outside, feeling abandoned, rejected, kind of shut out, perhaps from a main group, or in a personal relationship, like in a friendship or a romantic relationship, it can represent feeling abandoned, rejected, not good enough, kind of shut out. It's interesting because in the Five of Pentacles, at least in this deck and on other decks too, this couple is usually portrayed as being outside of what appears to be a church or a cathedral of some kind, and they're in need. Sometimes they look shabby, sometimes they look, kind of homeless, or they're out in the snow or the rain. And this golden light shining through represents that what they need, or help and assistance and resources, is very close, almost right there in front of them, but they can't see it because they're only focused on what the negativity is. So, and it's interesting that we have a church or a cathedral, or the strong implication that that's what this is. And your overall energy and advice is the Hierophant, which can point to convention, tradition, organized religions, institutions. It may be for some of you, particularly if this is a financial, work, career aspect area of your life, it may be that there is help directly in your area, that there's resources around that are very close to you that could help you if you just take a look around and kind of reach out to them. So that may apply to some of you as well. Now, the accompanying and clarifying card of the Five of Pentacles is the Knight of Swords. Knights are known for coming in and coming out. They're the deliverers, the bringers, the defenders of the tarot. They usually represent opportunities for change, something coming in, which could represent an opportunity for change. Swords is air energy, is this mental energy, what goes on in our heads. The Knight of Swords can bring information, news. He might bring it in very quickly. Some of you may actually be finding out or having the idea to kind of take a look around, maybe do some research on getting some help or resources that you may be needing, particularly financial and material resources from, it could be local religious agencies or churches or government institutions or things of that sort. Some of you, I feel, may be waiting for something from, you're in need, and you may be waiting for something, waiting for an offer, waiting for something to come in, waiting for, it could be tax return, it could be a payout from a company that maybe you quit or was, fired from, or, well, maybe not fired from, but because I have this sense that some of you are waiting for something that's taking quite a while to come, and it's a challenge to kind of make things function and flow together, but you have some kind of intuitive knowing that it is coming, and you're kind of firmly standing by that. Some of you also may be battling or in conflict or litigation even with whatever the Hierophant represents. It could be a lawsuit, it could be against a corporation or a business or a previous employer or some other kind of legal situation, and you're waiting for an outcome for that, or you're waiting for, perhaps you've gotten a positive judgment and you're waiting for some kind of monetary resources or the payout for someone to give you what's been owed to you. And there's this kind of intuitive sense and this kind of standing your ground and just waiting patiently too, with the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Wands, because the Queen of Cups is a very spiritual individual in the tarot. She's only rivaled, I think, in terms of spiritual intuitiveness, perhaps maybe by the High Priestess. This is also about checking your feelings and kind of resting in your patience and keeping a balanced control over your emotions as well. For some of you, this might be a water sign individual, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, that may be significant or influential or involved in this as well. We have the Seven of Wands, which is a defensive card of protecting and defending, something you have a lot invested in, which may resonate for those of you particularly for whom you're in some kind of struggle, conflict, or fight or legal situation. Some of you may be in conflict with somebody who's manifesting as the Queen of Cups. Let's see if we can just pull a clarifying card for what this situation is. I do get this very strong sense of waiting for something, that your positive will come, or perhaps there's been, again, like a legal judgment, but you haven't seen the money yet, like the check hasn't come yet, or something of that sort. Yeah, we have the Knight of Pentacles here. So all of the Knights come in and come out. The Knights typically bring opportunities, offers for change, etc. The Knight of Pentacles is also as well, but because he's governed by the element of Earth, which is a slower element, he's slower than the other three of his brother Knights. However, he's not prone to being distracted like the fire, air, and water Knights might be. He's the one Knight guaranteed to accomplish his mission and quest and cross the finish line. So it is something coming in, and I feel like a lot of you have an intuitive sense of knowing, even though it's a struggle trying to maintain, that this is coming, and it is indeed coming. Let me pull a couple of final cards for this, Libra, from Spirit. Any messages from Spirit on how best to navigate through this period of time? And it's a relatively short period of time we're looking at here, around 2 weeks or so. Time always being a bit fluid. In general readings, there's many of you watching, so it's always going to vary a little bit per person. Oh, the Six of Swords from Spirit. The Six of Swords, and right behind that, the Sun. Excellent. It is coming. Things will be well. The Six of Swords is a card of peace, healing, restoration. If you could see the water behind her that she's moving away from, it would be wavy, choppy, turbulent, foamy. She's moving away from that troubled time, the conflict, whatever it is this Five of Pentacles represents for those of you watching. She's moving into calm, peaceful, placid waters, so things are getting better. You're not quite to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but you're definitely moving towards that. And then the Sun, which is the most powerfully positive card in the tarot, in its ability to influence and uplift all the energy of the surrounding cards as well. This is a loosening and a lifting of previously heavier restrictive energies. If finances have been difficult, tight, which for some of you they obviously are, the Sun comes in and really uplifts, loosens that, and sometimes just removes it as well. Light, love, warmth, laughter, winter into spring. This is beautiful. Beautiful energy. So all will be well. And I feel like this situation that you're in, regardless of the details for each of you watching, I feel like it's fairly transitional. I don't feel like it's going to last very much longer for you until this healing and Sun energy comes in. I really don't. I feel like perhaps by the end of the month or the first half of December, you're going to be seeing and feeling much differently and much better. So Libra, that is your reading for the last half of November 2019. I hope you found it helpful and useful. Again, if any of you are interested in reaching out for a personal reading with me, particularly if this resonated for you, just click on the description link below and feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I'll see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December 2019 general readings, where I will be back in the States by then. Until then, as always, I wish you much love, joy, and blessings. And for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, a very happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.